Good morning, everyone. I'm Riccardo Montanari, talking from Milan, Italy. So here are 7 p.m. So our day is almost finished, and yours probably, if you are connected from the US, has just started. So from my side, it's a really pleasure to close my day with this exciting webinar. And I really hope you will enjoy the trip, this travel with myself, Streakwave, and of course 9-dot products. So let me introduce a little bit this very important and strategic partnership with Streakwave. 9-dot is really excited about this because Streakwave, no need presentation at all, is a really important distributor, an added value distributor in the US and many other areas in the world. And from my personal point of view, I've been in the telecommunication for several years. In a bit, I will give you some more details about my experience in telecoms. Streakwave was, to me, the top to reach as a distributor having our products. So it's a really exciting and a real pleasure to have Streakwave as added value distributor for 9-dot. We really trust and believe that this partnership will be really successful together. So as I told you, that's me. I tried with Angela from Streakwave to active my webcam, but I wasn't able, and maybe it's better today because it has been a long day. But I look like you can see in the picture, and who am I at the end? As I told you, I have an experience in telecommunications since 1997. So after graduated, I started immediately in the telecommunication, and I've been in several different companies, and the most important, at least to give you some background about my experience, is that I worked for distributor for 7 years, where I was Alvarion product sales trainer, and it was in 2004 when Alvarion was predominant in the world wireless arena. So I had the pleasure and the exciting job to be one of the experts in Alvarion products and teach to our customers how to sell Alvarion products. Then suddenly, after several years of Alvarion, the distributor where I work for decided to switch because Alvarion was getting not really good at the beginning for some financial reasons, to switch to Motorola. And at that time it was a Canopy, and I became sales trainer for Motorola products in the channel for Italy. Then I decided to join two exciting corporation manufacturers. One was a CI Microwave, which is 100% Italian corporation, and I was a sales manager for East Europe. And then I received an offer from Cambium Networks, and I decided to become a sales manager for Italy, Deutschland, Austria, and Swiss for Cambium Networks. And it has been a really great experience. Then I decided to make some consultancy for several corporations, and I decided at the end to become 9-dot Global Sales Director because I was believer in the project, in the products, and in the values of 9-dot. So at the end of the day, who is 9-dot? 9-dot designs and manufacturing innovative solution for power supply protection and remote management. This is the key word of today's presentation, the remote management on PoE-based system addressing TLC operators, tier 1 or whatever TLC operators, WISP, wireless internet service provider, mobile operator, whatever, in the PoE-based system, as well as video surveillance project and a few other applications that I will show you in a bit. 9DOT is 100% Italian corporation. The HQ is close to Pisa. If you have the chance before the COVID to visit Italy, Pisa is the city where is the pending tower that you can see in the picture in the background. Is in Tuscany, and the HQ is it's in a small village, very close to Pisa. Then we have the R&D close to Venice district. And then we have our factory in Cortona. Cortona, even if you have been to Italy, you never been there. Even myself, I have to go in September because when I joined 9DOT, just a few months later, the COVID-19 blow up, and so we hadn't too much of the chance to go around Italy. But Cortona is a very small village close to Florence. If you are familiar with the map of the Italian map, you can see Rome in the bottom, Florence on the top left of your screen, and where is the red arrow, there is the factory. Why I show you this kind of information? Because we are 100% Italian corporation. We design, research development, the HQ and the factory in Italy. Of course, we are going to buy some components from the Far East, as everyone does, but everything is done in Italy. And as you can see, our engineers are testing every single device is going out from the factory. So for this reason, the 9DOT RMA is almost close to zero, because every single device is tested before going out from the factory. So going deeply into the products, let me tell you first of all that we already have several installations in the United States, and very successful installation in the United States. So for few of you connected today, you already probably heard the 9DOT. Maybe you saw some devices in some sites across the US. And especially for these two types of products, because we just manufacturing for the time being 2 types of products, not a big deal, just 2 types of products. And both of them are called Sync. I will explain you why. So the first product I wanted to talk about today is the GigaSync on your left on the screen, and the NCore family on the right. And if you don't mind, I will start from here, from the GigaSync. As you can see, this is an empty chassis. When you will have an outlook on the price list in the future from your Streakwave representative, sales representative, it will be very easy to understand how build a billing of material and component the devices, because the first element you're going to find, it will be the same one as this picture. So the empty chassis of the GigaSync. You can see in the black circle and the arrow the name of the product, GigaSync. Then you have 1, 2, 3 slots when you can add and add as you grow, as your network grow. You can buy the empty chassis and add 1 element at that time, including a hot swap. It means that you don't have, if you're growing with this machine, to switch off the sites, but you can adding or taking off the cartridge for these slots simultaneously without any problem. But let me show you what I'm talking about deeply. Every single chassis can be filled with the same cartridge for almost for all the slots, or with 3 different separate cartridges that are dedicated for three different jobs. So as you can see, GigaSync is a GPS synchronizing a PoE system designed to work mainly, and I will explain you why I say mainly, with Canopy and Cambium 450X, 450 whatever, and provide a power source as well to standard power over Ethernet device and directly by bipolar terminals. So as you can see in the picture, you have in this configuration, but you can choose whatever configuration you want, you have 4 ports PoE CS. CS means Cambium synchronization. Then you have 4 port power over Ethernet standard, but I will explain you why I say but, plus 4 terminals bipolar with the green color for terminal for maybe Medusa or anything else doesn't need a PoE standard feeding current and system. So it consists of a base unit which can host up to 3 cartridge expansions. So you don't have to buy the whole configuration as you can see now, but you can, and I say it again, pay as you grow and add cartridge as you grow and as your sites are growing with your networks too. The base unit contains the control system and the main interface. Cartridge define the power method, power over Ethernet or terminals. And as I said, there is a but. You can have power over Ethernet simple feeding power, but as you can see, one of our key selling point and one of our main powerful application is on the PoE cartridge. As you can see, the PoE cartridge has on this side 2 empty slots where you can fill with the 9-dot keys. As you can see, one is white, one is blue, one is gray, and one is green. And those keys will allow you to be compatible with every kind of power over Ethernet device. So if you have a feed up, Ubiquiti or Microtic or Cambium or anything else in the wireless arena, we are compliant with any kind of power over Ethernet devices existing on the market right now. So if you're familiar with other, let me say, cheaper devices, not just in terms of price, but in terms of quality, that looks like familiar to 9-dot, we are not talking about the same stuff. Because if you are familiar with other devices, you have to manually move the jumpers to change the polarity of the gigabit ports. With us, is already done on the key. You have just to switch the key accordingly on which kind of power over Ethernet device you have to feed up. So what you can have is a 4 gigabit galvanic isolated ports, completely isolated ports. It's fully protected from any kind of peak currency or whatever can be the trouble you can have on a site. So high power protection, each port is protected against short circuits with automatic recovery and is suitable for every kind of devices, even high power ones, up to 3 ampere maximum load. So there is not any possibility to burn out the device. Okay, it's fully protected. It's protected against lightning, peak of current or whatever. Think about a problem, it's covered about this protection. So then you have Cambium Sync, power over Ethernet Cambium synchronization cartridge are compatible with the Cambium Networks synchronization standard, Canopy and Cambium Sync as well. Each port is configurable accordingly, so you can choose, all the time you can choose. And by the way, we have been allowed from Cambium officially to be compliant with them. So we are not doing anything strange or under table. It's Cambium. It's aware about our products and is really happy that there is this kind of device on the market. So about the terminal cartridge, we have a bipolar terminal box, 4 connectors useful to power and protect devices with optical fiber, for example, data connection, consumption monitoring, very useful parameters that must be kept under control to monitor the health status of connected devices and to dimension backup power sources. Protection, even here, every port is protected against short circuits, over voltage, and polarity inversion, automatic delayed recovery, whatever, it's protected. High power, same as the previous one, each port can handle up to 3 ampere load. Terminal block is a suitable up to 4 millimeters diameter cable. So think about, while I'm talking about all the application you can use this kind of cartridge. Then I show you the big machine, the GigaSync full and whole configuration. But if your network is not big yet, you can use the LiteSync. What is the LiteSync? The LiteSync is, of course, a light version of the GigaSync. You can buy it, as you can see in the picture. You cannot add any cartridge. You cannot change the hardware. It's like that, but it's still very useful for that kind of networks growing, because GPS synchronization is still there as the previous machine. You can still benefit about the Cambium Sync up to 2 devices. Here, as you can see, you have 4 ports, so 2 ports can be used. An input power with terminals, and you have 150 watt maximum load, and you can still benefit of 2 slots of the 9-dot key port mapping, still GPS Cambium Sync, and 1 AUX Sync port. And of course, the price is slightly different. But if your network is growing, and you can replace with the GigaSync full machine, and you cannot add. Of course, you have to make the decision before buying one product on the other one. So talking about the Cambium Networks, not because this device can work only with Cambium Networks, it can work with everything. As I said, everything working with PoE, optical fiber, or whatever, it can be one customer for us. It's not a real problem. But as you probably know, like me, Cambium Networks so far is one of the biggest manufacturers worldwide for the internet service providers. Even mobile operators are using in few small segments Cambium Networks devices. So we are 100% compliant with that protocols, and again is something that has been agreed with Cambium as well from a low point of view. So be confident, and for instance, there are a couple of big internet service providers in the US. They were almost to close CMM5 or some other Cambium devices, and they choose us because it's we are cheaper, first of all, which is not the main thing, but is always important, especially in this financial crisis worldwide times related to the COVID, but because we can feed up more machine with just 1 GigaSync, and we don't lose synchronization, which is quite a no and common problem with the CMM, and many other features that are much better than Cambium products. But I don't want to go there too much. Let's talk about 9-dot this evening, and not about, well, today, not this evening for me, not for you. Let's talk about the web interface. As you can see from this slide, the one of the very key feature is that all the 9-dot products are 100% manageable from remote. I mean, the GigaSync and the NCore. and you can monitoring whatever you want from the device remotely. So you can see the temperature, if one port is active, what kind of trouble it might happen on one single port. You can see whatever you need to see from a device it's already on board. Okay. So GigaSync at a glance, low profile, one single rack unit only. Even it might be a little bit expensive, but one of the biggest internet service provider in US found a lot of benefit in using one single device as power over Ethernet system, instead to have for every single manufacturer their own power supply. This GigaSync can allow you to synchronize, to centralize instead of synchronize. Sorry, I used the wrong word. To centralize the power over Ethernet devices in one single rack unit. Fanless, non-ventilation needed. Multi-input output up to 3 isolated power sources. GPS sync in and out, redundant sync pulse sources. Monitoring power voltages, single port load, temperature, warning, and alarm. Remote control, switch on, switch off each port remotely. Power cycle, port blinking, Cambium sync activation. So those things you can do it remotely. This is key selling point from the field. I don't know who is connected to this webinar, but if you need to sell our products, and when I say sell means maybe you sell to, maybe you are a reseller of Streakwave, maybe you sell to a network of sub distributors or vendor. It doesn't matter. But when I say selling, means also that you can sell this solution to your customer, even to the end customer. Well, this is a real, I cannot mention who is the internet service provider that give to us this information, but it's a real feedback from field. So 9.GigaSync has been used to dramatically reduce cabinet space requirements in deployments that support a variety of power over Ethernet devices. With legacy power equipment, many devices require their own individual power supplies. So the fact just mentioned by me. Other legacy power equipment only supports a specific vendor. This is not sustainable for a power space and management perspective. The GigaSync solves this problem by offering a single power over Ethernet injector solution for all kinds of devices. Think about the theory of error, the theory of mistakes. When you have too many devices and you have a problem on your site, you have to go and check every single device. With us, at least you have one single device to check what's going wrong, if it's going wrong, of course. Since the GigaSync is extremely flexible and modular by nature, it can be used to support both small and large deployment with ease. Okay, so another thing is the GigaSync allowed to avoid a costly cabinet upgrade by reducing the rack space requirements of the site significantly. So this reduced overall capital spending, avoided a lengthy night cut over to a new cabinet, and allowed to harvest legacy equipment. The GigaSync has also simplified management by combining remote power management into a single device. So before we were talking about a space issue. Now we are getting into power management issue. And with us, you have one single device power management. Normally, a customer had a look to 3 or more different pieces of power equipment to manage all power over Ethernet devices at the site. Overall, this results in a more streamlined power system with less points of failure. This is I'm Italian, sorry, so I say practically when you have many devices, you have to check all devices. So actually there are points of failure, many points of failure. At least you're gonna have one single point of failure. Then finish from a key selling point from field. Every customer in every site has a whole rack of individual power supplies. If I'm saying something wrong, guys, just raise your hand and I will be more than happy to answer to your question at the end of the webinar. So rack of individual power supply, each connected to a specific device. For example, Cambium devices specifically, there is little in the way of a unified power system for all products, CMM, SWA, whatever, from 1 to 5, or have specific uses and can only support 1 voltage. The CMM also does not support 820S or power emerging equipment like 3.65, 450 Medusa, which requires direct DC power that is allowed by us with the cartridge with terminal green connectors. So the GigaSync is the perfect solution for both of these problems. Individual power supplies and CMMS can be replaced with a single GigaSync, which can support all required devices, even equipment like the 3.65 gigahertz 450 Medusa is compatible using the terminal block cartridge. So at the end, probably most of you heard about EOLO. Why, even if you are far away from Italy, you heard about EOLO? Because EOLO is one of the biggest wireless internet service provider worldwide. It's based in Italy. The HQ is in North Italy, not far from Milan, where I live. They have 18,300 square feet meters offices, but they have also sub installation across whole Italy. 450 employees, 3,000 towers, 300,000 customers, and the revenue in 2019 was $140 million US. So why EOLO is important? First of all, because it is one of the first Cambium Networks customers. So they buy a bunch of Cambium Networks every year. They are also using Ceragon, CI, and many others. And everything a few years ago with 9 dot began from EOLO, the EOLO challenge we call it, because EOLO was unable to find a remote controller power over Ethernet injector system in the existing market. They challenged us to make a solution to match their needs. They were not happy at all about the CMM system. And the first aim was to increase efficiency throughout the network in the field of power over Ethernet injection and synchronization. That's one of the other most important keywords, the synchronization. And the second aim was to optimize the management and maintenance of each site and reducing the cost of ownership. So the TOC, the total cost, the TCO, sorry, the total cost of ownership, it's another issue. They used to have, when a site was falling down, to send a proper engineer on the site, spending time and money, and having the site down to replace whatever was not working. And with our solution now, they are able to at least understand what is happening on the site remotely, and then decide who is the right person to send on the site and fix the problem they have. So the solution out of the box, because everything was already thought in the market, but not 9 dot. And we are proud to say that our motto is think outside the box. And we offer to them not only an injector with synchronization, but a comprehensive device with an integrated management system. It is compatible with Cambium Medusa and microwave, wireless local loop, both wired and wireless devices. The WISC welcomed the solution with enthusiasm and has now purchased and installed more than 2,500 units. We have a 3 years agreement for the next 3 years with them, where they're gonna buy 1,000 of GigaSync units per year. So we're really proud about this customer. But again, as I said, most of you probably heard this name. If you went on some Cambium presentation, they are the biggest in Europe. Not sure if in the world, but probably is you can comparize EOLO like if I'm not wrong in the US market existing Rise Broadband, which is quite a big internet service provider, as you probably know. So results, reliability, no more out of service. First of all, no more engineers sending and wasting time and money on the sites. Streamline logistic and warehouses adopting a single product adaptable to multi-projects, reducing installation and maintenance costs. I don't know you, but probably the most value the most valuable thing that we have now is the time, and of course the money. And with our solution, you can really save time and money, which are the two most important things in our lives, probably. So something in practicals. Let's introduce another smashing machine, which is called NCore. As you can see in the bottom of the picture, you have the GigaSync with a full configuration where you can feed up non-PoE devices, Cambium 450M with 48 volt PoE, CI, Ceragon, whatever, Cambium 450 with 29 volt PoE and synchronization, of course. But what you need in the background? In the background, you need probably several different volts in input, like 29, 57, or minus 48. And even here, you can have some trouble. The trouble on the background before the GigaSync, we fixed it with this machine that is called NCore. So let me introduce you the NCore family. The NCore is another modular system you can see in this picture in a whole configuration. And so far, as per our research in the market, there's something similar, but nothing that can be comparable to the NCore. And let me give you some details. It's a smashing machine because it's 2,400 watt input. So every input, every single slot can have 800 watts per slot. So it's a really high power. We are addressing with these devices vertical markets like oil and gas, electricity, but even mobile operators tier 1 like AT&T or Vodafone or Telefonica, and so on. You can have AC-DC or DC-DC source, redundancy and maximizing the power, 54 volt rail voltage, and on the outside modules, you can have an adjustable configuration. So you can choose when you need 29, 48, or 54 volts. Hot swap, so load sharing auto adjustment. If you have even with this device, like it was for the GigaSync, if you have to change, swap a cartridge or whatever, you don't have to switch off or switch down the whole system, but you can still working and make the hot swap with the cartridge that you need to refill or re-empty. Plus has a specific cartridge where there is a switch on off, and you can selectable by software the charge current, 1 ampere, 5 ampere, 10 ampere charge. So this is for batteries, and you can have 50 ampere discharge, super fast switch on battery mode, lead, acid, or lithium multi-chemistry battery type, and this is a specific for the battery world. It's not an UPS, okay? That must be said. It's not an UPS. I will explain you in a bit why. You can have up to, again here, you can have the empty chassis that can be filled more or less as you want. You can have up to 3 input from high power, so you can benefit for 2,400 watts in total, or you can choose 1600 plus, or only 800, but you can use the NCore LITE that I will show you in a bit, plus filling the chassis with the dedicated module for the battery charge. So at the end of the day, you can have 20 output ports, all of them remotely controlled, protection from short circuit overload, load monitor, real-time load indicator. I will show you how the web interface look like. And what you can have, again, the NCore LITE, so the smaller version of the NCore. If you need something small, and of course, in terms of investment from a money point of view, you can start with the NCore LITE. Even here, there are two different hardware, but let me say that the NCore LITE is very useful for most of the application in the market, unless you are working with, again, mobile operators, just electricity company, or oil and gas application that require probably the NCore full machine. You can still work with the NCore LITE. There are some, I cannot give you too many details. Let's talk about Nevada state. There are some rural operators, internet service provider operators. They are very happy with the NCore LITE because usually they use a solar panel because they are in a very rural area, and transforming in direct current what they get from the solar power panel. And they are really happy because with high temperature in the summer, low temperature in the winter, they still have the machines up and running, and they are really happy about the performance. So the NCore LITE is an all-in-one system, perfect if you have limited space, because the other one is quite big and heavy. This one is still reasonable. It comes out with 8 ports divided into 3 groups. During purchasing process, you can add expansion modules to group 1 and group 2. So we don't have time to see the price list, but I'm sure Streakwave will be able to give you all the details about it. And here, the nice thing, how it looks, the web interface. It's really nice. I cannot show you the real-time web interface, but everything is moving in this window. So you can monitoring in real time how the pattern of the current in all single ports and in every single slot. You can still have the voltage monitoring, the load of the current on the ports. You can have the temperature and so on, even alarm messages, any kind of messages you need to be informed from the machine, you can have them. So the NCore at a glance, you have an active power station. So it's not an UPS, it's not becoming when something is going wrong, is still all the time an active power station. The system simultaneously operates in a reactive and proactive mode, ensuring efficiency, protection, and reliability. Dynamic charge, the system uses the software selected charge current or switches to a lower current in case devices connected to the NCore need more power. So it's very dynamic in this works. Variable output voltages on ADJ out modules, which you can buy from the price list. Output voltage is selectable by software. Okay, of course, is a little bit expensive, but you can benefit from changing remotely the output power from 29, 48, or 54 voltage. 12 out module is also available as well. So you can feed up the coffee machine if you want. It's a little bit expensive, but you can do it there. Instant online, not always online, but super fast switch on battery, preventing auto discharge on maximizing battery life. So instant doesn't mean always online, but it's a really super fast switch on battery. Priority loads, this is a very interesting thing. Every port has its own priority index. If necessary, the system switches off ports with low priority, ensuring power on always on devices port. Even the battery has its own priority. So if you're choosing, the battery has to have a priority, you can choose that. Battery life simulation, very useful for the cycle of life of the battery. So it is possible to schedule periodically complete discharge charge battery cycles in order to precisely calculate the remaining battery life, autonomy, and battery efficiency to have a real high standard quality on your sites. So the whole application, as I mentioned, you can have high power, any kind of high power from outside, solar, including solar power, get in and have, and then having 29, 47, minus 48 volts, get into a GigaSync. Of course, it's not mandatory to buy the NCore to feed up one GigaSync. They can be buy separately, but this, it could be a really very powerful configuration if you have the investment and also the possibility to choose 9-dot application, the whole 9-dot product for your application. So again, outside you can feed up non-power over Ethernet devices, Cambium, CI, Ceragon, Mimosa, Microtic, Ubiquiti, whatever. Don't forget about using the 9-dot keys, Cambium, whatever it needs, whenever it takes to feed up from Cambium world. And that's it from my side. So I finished the presentation, and if you have any questions that I can answer, of course. I'm not a technical guy, but if there are any kind of question, I'm at your disposal. Also, if you don't have questions and you want to give us your first impressions on what you have watched today. That's all from my side, Angela. Yes. Yes, I hope I spoke a good English at least, because it's evening here and I have a full day on my shoulders and maybe my English cannot be really nice.
You were perfect. No, we were able to understand you clearly. So thank you for that. There are a couple questions, so we can go through them quickly. So one question is there anything that 9-dot is aware of that these units cannot power?
Sorry, can you say it again?
Yes. Is there anything that 9-dot is aware of that these units cannot power?
Not as far as we know. Everything can be power on the PoE, of course, products existing in the market. So it's 9-dot. It's compliance with any kind of power source for this market. I don't know if I answer properly to the question.
No problem. If the person that asked the question, if that didn't help clarify, please go ahead and elaborate in the question box. For now, we'll move on to the next question. This is on the NCore. So the NCore will change the batteries, but it is not a UPS. Can you elaborate as to why?
Yes, because well, first of all, an UPS it's something passive in our mind, in our concept. The UPS usually it's a unipower system passive. Again, the keywords with all 9-dots product is active. So the NCore working on an active and proactive module, especially if you have batteries connected. You can monitoring the status of the battery, and having the active remote management system, you can still, can I say, prevent any trouble, any problem on the network, on the power network. And with the most UPS in the market, you are not really able to do that. Plus 2,400 watts as maximum power. It's something really really big. So as far as I know, there are not any kind of products like that in the market. Yeah.
Great, thank you. Next question is in regards to your GigaSync product. So the GigaSync product is Cambium GPS Sync certified. So how will this product compare to their new WISP switch?
Oh, that's a question that I was ready to hear. Well, first of all, the new switch of Cambium is limited in terms of supporting devices, so they can support less devices than us, and then we are not a switch, okay? So probably the new system is almost dedicated to be a switch and not to be something related to the power management products. So I cannot say too much, but we're gonna release a comparison, a battle card, as you say in the US. This is a new word I learned a couple of years ago working in the US, that will show you the benefits that you can have buying 9-dot solution instead of the new Cambium switch. I cannot say too much. I don't know who is connected today, so I don't want to give too many details. But of course, for everyone who is listening, we will give battle cards and all the details to Streakwave, and the sales representative will explain you in details the difference between the two products. There are huge difference between the two products.
Awesome, thank you. We're going back to an NCore question. Does the NCore give you control over float, voltage, charge rates, and low voltage disconnects?
Yes, they give you the monitoring of everything. But I'm not sure if I understand well the question. What can you say it again slowly? Yes. A little bit slower.
Yes. Does the NCore give you control over float voltage, charge rates, and low voltage disconnects?
Yes. The answer is yes. Okay. You can monitoring everything is happening there.
Okay, everything. And then continuing on to that question, they're asking, so each PoE module is keyed to the same PoE voltage out of all 4 parts. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct. Yes. Okay. Don't go too technical. Not technical again. But yes.
Perfect. Another question. Can you show us an example of an actual scenario where 9-dot solutions have been used?
Yes, absolutely. As I mentioned during the presentation, there are several internet service providers in US. They were between choosing Cambium CMM5 or 9-dot. They choose us because they were able to benefit from one single devices managing more devices than a CMM5, and it's quite again, as I said during the presentation, it's a quite no problem in Cambium forums and on internet. There is a discussion, is a topic very discussed about the CMM is losing synchronization most of the time. They have a lot of failures on the CMM, and therefore usually one of the common application solution, 9-dot solution have been used is to replace CMM or with some new internet service provider. They choose 9-dot products from the beginning. I'm talking about the GigaSync, but we got also not only, as I said, Cambium application, we got video surveillance application, ubiquity, microtic application, even in that sites where there are multiple vendors like microtic, ubiquity, and CI, Ceragon plus Cambium, for example. That is the scenario where you can use 9-dot solution as one single and main point of PoE devices supplying. Okay, and you can benefit for the remote management control with, in that case, all the devices connected to the GigaSync, even if they are multi-vendors products. Did I answer to the question?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
And it looks like we have time for possibly one more question here. They're asking if there is a product support question or a technical support question, what's the best way to reach you guys? Is there a phone number that they can directly call, or is it a ticket that they have to open up? Can you please help elaborate?
There are few way to have the support. First of all, the main support will come from Streakwave, so from our main distributor in the US. All the Streakwave staff is fully trained to support with our solution. And the second one is to write directly to us. It's I would say 24/7 support. We are in Italy. There is only to wait that we wake up in the morning and see your emails that you can send to sales@9dot.it or technical support. You can go to our website and you can download user guide, manuals, case study, the usual stuff, I would say, about the vendor. So 9dot.it is our website. You can go there and find very useful information that maybe are helpful. Then you have the technical support from 9dot that can assist you. Then you have Streakwave as a first point of contact, of course, that can be in touch with us. And then we are working, myself and Joshua from Streakwave, to having one dedicated time slot during the week, which can be Wednesday at this time, where I can connect it, or one technical guy can connect it and be able to answer to all the questions coming from the customers. So there are several ways to get in touch with us, from technical support or sales support or whatever support.
Thanks,
Did
Ricardo.
I answer to the question?
Yes, you did. Thank you. It looks like those are all the questions that I see in our chat box here, and we're just about a little close to an hour. So I want to thank you so much for presenting today and everybody that attended. We hope that you got a lot from today's presentation, and we look forward to working with you and promoting 9dot as we continue our relationship. So as Ricardo mentioned, if there's any other questions later on that arise, please don't hesitate to reach out to us at Streakwave, and we'll help get those answered, and we will post this webinar on our social media, and you will also receive a copy of the recording as well. So again, Ricardo, thank you. If you had any last
Thank you very much.
You wanted to address, please go ahead and do so now. If not, then I'm sure we'll connect sooner or later.
Yeah. Thank you very much all. Thank you very much to Streakwave for hosting us, for having us. We are really excited once again about this partnership, and we really believe it will be very successful. Thank you very much to all the US guys, and have a nice day.